So this is called a beach.
We haven't seen one for 2 years.
Actually, we have one in Toronto, but it's so weird that people can't swim there. And people do anyway, and it always makes you feel like running by. Don't get me wrong, I love running there. It's weird. As long as we don't make enough water.
Just look at it.
Hi everybody.
2 years.
We're on the beach. This may not seem like a big deal, but we're on a beach. We're on a beach. So for those of you who may remember this this thing that we did every year, it started with me and Tim. That's Tim all the way in the back. Let me get him. There he is. And we did it. Well, hang on. I'm getting there.
Credits are still rolling.
Credits are still rolling. Yeah, exactly. So you remember when we started doing Smoky Riders, it was me and I'm getting there, Sam. I'm getting there. Me and Tim started doing this Facebook morning walk. And then I was like, why am I putting this on Facebook? I should be putting it on Twitch. And if you remember, right before the pandemic hit, we were doing these walks, me and Tim, and then it eventually evolved to being me, Tim, Pip, and Claire here at the, well, what was once the Smoky Riders.
Smoky Walkers?
It was just the Smoky Mountain morning walk. And hey there, how you doing there, PC?
Nicer about walking along the beach.
But it's the four of us, Claire, Tim, and Pip, and myself. And Rick says hi, everybody.
Rick.
And yeah, this is where we're at now. We are in Ocean Isle, the Carolinas. Let me flip it around. And this is called a beach, everybody. This is called a beach. The last time we were on a beach, it was February 2020. And we were hearing about this thing called the coronavirus.
Welcome to Smoky.
Everybody recoiled before.
Yeah, last night our host of the most, Stephen Grenade, said, so yes, it has begun. Welcome everyone to Smoky Riders 2020, and we all screamed in abject terror. And as you can see by the morning mist, oh, and right now, Claire, the signal is banging.
Has the signal improved for 2 years?
What had happened was, I was like, oh yeah, the phone is still trying to stay connected to the house. So you got to turn it off, then go for the walk.
Which means the house has more than last
There's plenty of other houses you can steal their Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Mika, to say that this is awesome is an understatement because it's been 2 years since the last thing I did. I think well, Claire said that the last thing a lot of us did before the pandemic was this. Well, that's why, Paul. That is why I'm doing these morning walks, to just bring everybody a slice of the retreat. It is currently a balmy 55 degrees. I'm surprised Claire's not in shorts. What was that?
I did bring some tank tops.
So did I.
We're breaking it.
I actually brought a tank top because I think they said at one point it's going to be like in the mid 60s up here. So they are expecting rain, but I don't know. Rain on the beach, I'll cope. So the first question that I've been asked is, what is everybody working on this year? Claire, would you like to take the lead on this?
I sure will.
Okay. So what are you working on?
I'm working on a new novel, which I have just started. I'm still in the first sort of third of it, and it's based on Irish mythology,
Ooh.
which I've been geeking out about since I was a tiny child. And sometime before the pandemic, I happened to be in the UK for work, and I took a side trip to Ireland, and I went to this place called Owenagad, the Cave of the Cats, where supposedly some spirit cats emerged from the underworld and had a battle with Cuchulainn, the legendary Irish hero. And this place struck me as a really cool place to write a story set around, so I am. It's actually a very nondescript cave. You can barely notice it. It's in a farmer's field on private land, but tourists have permission to just park and wander over and take a look at it. It's actually huge underground. And because I was there in early spring, I couldn't go very far down because it was so slippery.
Right.
It was like a mud chute. And I went down the first few steps, and I had to brace myself, and I touched something wet on the wall, and it was covered in slugs. And I jolted away, and I looked up at the ceiling, and the ceiling was covered in centipedes.
Oh my God.
We're talking some serious Indiana Jones action.
I was
here.
just about to say, I'm like, was Short Round anywhere nearby?
Right? So it was an ideal place to get me started thinking about this book.
I bet.
That seed was planted, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And something about this very idyllic and relaxing atmosphere really makes me want to get into some horror.
Nice. Well, now is this going to be? Is this under contract, or is this something you're going to pitch once you get it done?
I have not even told my agent about it. He is behind on selling my previous book.
There
Because
is
what
that.
do you know, us mid-list writers do not really get a lot of attention earlier in the pandemic when bookstores were entirely closed.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a thin couple of years for me writing-wise. After I finished that book, I thought it was going to go on submission right away, but it did not. But that's really nice because now I have this kind of window where nobody's really waiting on me for anything, which means I can write something off the wall.
And whatever
and
it
then
is
be
you
like,
want.
Surprise! Here it is. Please sell it.
Yeah, there we go. I has a book. Pleased to be selling it. Yeah, for my own project, I've actually got 2 in the works. I've got to get Twitch for Dummies going. I've started it. Good morning. I've started it, but it is. I now have to get into a groove with it because I think my first. I'm pretty sure my first 25% deadline is next week. Yeah. But the good news is it's the second edition, so really it's just
updating. And,
it's just updating. Now some of it's going to be like Podcasting for Dummies, the 4th edition, where we were just nip-tucking here and there, and it was no big deal. Unlike the 3rd edition, where it had been 10 years between editions.
A lot changes in 10 years.
That wasn't a 3rd edition. That was a freaking rewrite. We gutted that thing, but it had good bones. So I'm working on that, and one of the things I'm most excited about with Twitch for Dummies is I'm actually going to have a section dedicated, and depending on what I write this week, it might even be its own chapter. But I'm doing an entire chapter / section on streaming in virtual reality.
Oh, cool.
Spent last weekend doing nothing but trying to figure out, okay, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And it took Pip and me 3 days, and we got everything up and running, as many of you saw. So that's the other thing. That's one thing I'm working on. I think I'm going to do Twitch for Dummies during the morning, and then in the afternoon I'll focus on fiction. And I'm doing the plan is that Phil Rossi and I are going to put together an anthology. I'm sorry, wait. Okay, it's an anthology when you have many writers. It's a collection if you have like 1 or 2, correct? I've always been wondering about that,
I think that's
about
right.
splitting that hair.
I think that's right.
Okay, so Phil and I are doing a collection together. Phil Rossi and I are doing a collection together, and it's we're calling it Inspired by True Events, and it's going to be our best cryptid and ghost stories, and we're going to sell it at the different events that we will show up as, promoting old spirits. And I have to finish, I think I have 3 short stories I can contribute. I then have to finish or write from scratch 2, and then there's 1 story that we're writing from scratch together. Those are our projects. Those are my projects. for this Smoky. So the morning I'll focus on nonfiction, and then the second half of the day, the afternoon, I'll focus on fiction. And this will be the first fiction I've written in 2 years.
Wow. Pandemic threw people for a loop, didn't it?
What's that?
The pandemic just threw people for a loop, right?
Well, see, that's the weird bit, though. We were talking about like fiction versus nonfiction in the house before we got to walking. I had one of my most productive years as a writer during the pandemic.
Nice.
So, like, Discord for Dummies came out. Then the second edition of Social Media for Writers came out. And then the fourth edition of Podcasting for Dummies came out. So that was 3 books in the year. And I'm like, hey, I'm doing great. And then I went into 2021, started a lot of ideas, didn't finish any of them.
I had totally the opposite. I finished a whole bunch of stuff, handed it over to my agent, and then kind of life went on pause. And I barely even got any short stories up for it. I wrote a whole lot, but everything's still in various stages of being rewritten or early in submission. So hopefully 2022 will see actual publications more.
Yeah.
Because that was like the thinnest period of my professional life, I think.
Oh, what an amazing way to start a day. I know, right? I can't think of a better way to start a day. And if we're lucky, that was one of the last things I remember was when we were out here. We actually caught dolphins. Remember when we were out here and we saw dolphins out here? It is a great way to start the day. It is a fantastic way to start the day, Sam. The thing was, I think a lot of it was also the stress of my job hunt. Because I was job hunting. And then when a new job finally came through.
Sandpiper?
Hi, pal. But I really think that that had a lot to do with it. Was the stress of the job hunt. That was unpleasant. And then when I got the new job, I then had to get into a groove with that. So I just but I'm not, the weird thing is I'm not stressed out about it. I'm just like, okay, I'm here, I have an idea, I just need to start writing. And I don't know. I feel like, at least for me, if I get stuck, writing short fiction helps me kickstart.
It's a more manageable length because you can see the end from the beginning.
That's true.
Which is not always true for me with a novel.
That's true.
I don't have to outline, which is the thing I hate doing. In fact, I have to do some today. I've hit that point where my extremely vague outline that's like 2 sentences in the middle that's meant to cover like 50,000 words of book is not quite enough to go forward on, and I actually have to like put some things in an Excel spreadsheet.
See, I admire you for being able to do that, because I can't. I try so hard to outline a book, and it's like, yeah, but I want to do this, and I just, and woohoo. I hope everybody's enjoying the view. I think the morning plan is going to be this. A lot of morning walks, some discussion, not all the time. Because sometimes I think sometimes, especially even on Twitch, I think sometimes people just want some beach scenery and some noise. Preferably not that noise. But just some this is nature's ASMR, if you will. I should have put this under ASMR, maybe. Yeah.
Feels very surreal.
It does, doesn't it? I feel like I've been processing since I've been here. I'm back. I'm back.
Right? I haven't been to this country in 2 years. Also, we beat you in hockey last night.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true. No, but was it men's hockey or women's hockey?
Women's.
Women's?
Which is by far the better of the two in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even Team USA got knocked out pretty quickly in the Olympics.
So did Team Canada.
So,
Because all of our best players in both countries play for the NHL. But because there isn't a professional women's league at that level, all the best women save up all their energy for the Olympics.
I just enjoy riding along. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Rick. I appreciate that. I honestly do. I honestly do. Yeah, I'm sure you've been getting a little bit of national pride from the meme that went viral where it said, today the Canadian women's hockey team beat the Russians all while wearing masks. So the next time you're complaining about how you can't breathe when going to the store, put a sock in it. That's my new favorite meme right there.
Yep.
That is my new favorite meme. But yeah, go Team Canada. So does that mean they've medaled?
Yes, gold medal.
Oh, they got gold. Oh, wow. Wow.
There are a lot of hungover Canadians today.
I was worried I was going to be a hungover. You know, that is the most I have drank last night.
I did not even notice you drinking wine.
I had, let's see, I had 3 beers last night. Now, one of those beers was a 40, but, so I don't know if that counts as 2 beers. Hi, Kate. Good morning. Oh, Kate, it is a gorgeous day here in Ocean Isle, Maryland. Ocean Isle, North Carolina. That is where we are. I will not be hitting Destiny until next Wednesday. And then Thursday I get together with Steve the Blind Gamer Sailor, and we play Witch Queen all day on Thursday. But yeah, I woke up, so here's the thing, Chad. I woke up this morning and I was sore. I was so freaking sore. And I couldn't figure out what had happened. If I was just getting old. And then I remembered, oh wait, I cooked for everybody yesterday. And that's when I have to back up and tell that story. So, for those of you who are regulars and know about the yearly writer retreat that Pip and I attend with these lovely people around me, I should say with Claire and those two, I don't even think you can see us in the fog. But those two people far off in the distance, so, whoa. Hang on, I gotta realign this. Come on. And there we go. Oh, so you've been here. You've been here, Kate. Yeah. So when we go to this retreat, they have we would have a chef that would cook for us. So it was great. You know, the writers didn't have to worry about food. It was all part of the plan. It was great. Well, last week we had something of an emergency come up, and we had to scramble because our chefs couldn't make it. So I volunteered to be chef on day 1. And it's been a while since I've cooked for this many people. Probably pre-pandemic. But I cooked everybody. I basically built a taco bar. And let me see if I can run down what I did. I did carne asada. And as you heard Claire saying, yeah, but I'm a vegetarian, I made mushrooms asada. And then for the toppings, it was cabbage, baby spinach, grilled apple, grilled mango, sweet peppers, roasted red peppers, lime crema. Yes, all the recipes that I was working with last night, the Book of Trejo, from the Holy Book of Trejo. But let's see, I think that was everything. And then I offered the street tacos, either flour or corn. I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I am sore. And then I realized I had grilled, like on a proper grill, I had grilled the mango, the apple, the steak, and the mushrooms. But to get to the grill, you got to go down 2 flights of stairs. So my butt feels great right now. My butt feels great. Bunzo Steel, bitches. And Panic, thank you for the resub, by the way, tier 2. I do appreciate it. I missed it after my last stream. So that was why I was sore. But just to do a quick panorama again. Welcome everybody. Woo! Welcome everybody to Ocean Isle, Carolina. Ocean Isle, North Carolina. That's where we are today. It feels great. I think we should have been measuring how far we were going to go.
I saw that pier and I was kind of like, that feels like a natural turnaround point, but also I don't really want to because it's early, it's beautiful. And I didn't work out yesterday because I was on the plane.
The thing is that we do have to eventually turn around because we got to get back to the retreat to write. So here's what I figure. What we can do this. When we hit the 30-minute mark on this, we can double back. Because I bet you right now, our compatriots over there. So if anybody's curious, if you see the guy taking pictures, behind them are 2 more people. That's Tim Dodge, and then the shorter person is my wife Pip. And they're probably wondering, when are they turning around? And Panic, I love the North Carolina beaches so much that Pip and I actually set the 3rd book, or one of the settings of the 3rd book in the ministry series was at North Carolina. That was truly one of those. Well, kind of like with you and the caves in overseas. So Pip's parents were visiting. And we took them to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is lighthouse country. There's like at least 3 lighthouses within spitting distance of each other, and we went to the Currituck Lighthouse, beautiful lighthouse in the Outer Banks. It's on Currituck Island, and it's just full red brick. It's gorgeous. I'm staring at it. Pip looks at me and says, "What?" And I said, "Wouldn't that make a great death ray?" And Pip looked at me and she said, "Oh, so we're doing this?" I said, "Yeah, I think we're doing this." We brought in Edison. We brought in Tesla. Oh, God, we had a great time with that. We had a great time with that.
I love how a place that you spend like hours one day can end up becoming kind of an anchor for something creative.
Yeah.
This thing works better than a place you've known all your life, where it's hard to separate out your own baggage from that place from what your creative work needs, right?
Well, that was why when Phil and I were, when I floated this idea to Phil about doing a collection of horror short stories, or it's actually going to be like, I think it's going to be less horror, more like action adventure, with a little bit of horror from me. I said we should call. He said, I said I want to call it Inspired by True Events, and he loved the idea because the last story actually came from one of the more recent paranormal investigations we did together. We were at a location, and the on-site historian was running down a list of rules. You know, the obvious stuff. Can't drink on the premises, don't litter, don't take any souvenirs, you know, and all this stuff I could jive with. But then she says this. She says, and no crossing over. We like our spirits where they are. And here I am, the impressionable, wide-eyed Southern Christian boy, and that statement rattled me. Because I'm like, okay, so you're basically saying that these whispers, you're acknowledging that you think these ghosts exist. So, tumbling down that rabbit hole even further, you're basically saying that these people are no longer people, they're your property. And it just rattled me. And I was talking about it with Phil, and Phil's like, yeah, there's a short story in there.
Yeah. I love that that's where your mind went. That is not where everybody's mind can go.
No.
Which means the story is going to be so interesting and so...
I hope so. At the very least, it'll be very Twilight Zone-esque, which I'm more than okay with. When you write and include real people, ooh, that's a good one. When you write in real people, do you have to get permission?
Not if they're public figures.
Right.
And especially if the statute of limitations on them has passed, which is like copyright. If somebody's been dead for 7 years, even if they still have living relatives, you can write about them without their relatives' permission. But it would start to get dicey if you were writing about, like, you know, somebody that passed away during the pandemic and you wanted to do a whole fictional thing about them. It would be a good idea to get permission from their estate. But if you're writing about somebody who is not widely known, like your own family member, you have a right to do that. Nobody else gets to really tell you, except for maybe other family members, which could be really contentious.
So that's actually another great question too, Panic, because dovetailing off of what Claire said, when we wrote Dawn's Early Light, we wrote in my priest as one of the characters. I'm getting to why, because we wrote in our priest as a gunslinging bounty hunter, because our priest is she has a gun collection, and she is all about the Second Amendment, but she's also about responsible gun safety laws. And she's like, you know, I practice my Second Amendment right, and I believe in it, but I also believe that we need gun safety laws. And I was so moved by her take on it that I went on ahead and I wrote up this character, and Pip said, you're gonna have to run that by Vinny just to make sure you're okay with it. So I sent her the first chapter that she appears in, and we didn't hear anything for weeks. And I thought, oh my God, my priest hates it. Now we're Episcopalian, so they change up the ceremonies. And in this one ceremony for Sunday morning, the priests come in from the back of the church, and we were running late that day. And I walk in with Pip, and morning. I walk in with Pip, and we see Vinny and Stuart at the doorway. As we're passing by, Vinny grabs me and goes, just so you know, T, I got 2 6-shooters under here. And I turned to Pip and I said, I think that means she likes the chapter. The only thing she asked me to change, and this is what responsible writers do, if somebody says, hey, I don't mind being in your book, just change the names. And that was what Vinny asked. And she gave us a name, which I think is the name that she is legally known under. And because everybody knows her as Vinny, but very few know her as by this name. So we So when it comes to writing real people, there's nothing wrong with being inspired by people who are in your life. I mean, there's Fu was wearing actually
Yeah.
the T-shirt yesterday. Careful, you'll wind up in my novel, which is fine.
But you don't want to be the bad art friend.
Yeah. You don't want to be that writer. Okay, we're at 30 minutes. Shall we turn around? Oh, there they are. So Panic is a librarian at the University of Auburn. And she is taking a copyright course for librarians right now.
Nice.
Well, Claire works for
Indigo.
which
is like Barnes & Noble, but in Canada.
yeah, Barnes & Noble in Canada.
So some of our laws are a little bit different. So if you're like right on the edge of writing about somebody right now, don't take my word for it. Look up what the American law actually is.
But it is, you do have to be careful. I mean, especially when they're public. I mean, like with us, I'm even trying. I mean, I remember, when people write fan fiction and stuff like that, you can hide behind that very thin law of fan. When people write fan fiction about real people, to me, that is the fiction equivalent of the fair use doctrine, which is like, okay, if you're doing this for educational purposes or just for fun, that's one thing. It's when you try to make money off of it is when things get complicated. Is when things get very complicated.
We actually narrowly avoided a lawsuit by a famous athlete who we had hired an artist to draw some cartoons of this athlete. And those cartoons appeared in a book and the athlete didn't like them and was very annoyed that we didn't seek permission. We said, this is an entertainment book where one of the stories in the book is about a great moment that you had, and we chose this illustrator to illustrate the great moment. That's reporting. And he did back down, but we had to actually give a donation to his charity.
Well, that's not so bad.
As part of it ended up being amicable.
Yeah.
But his point was that we really should have asked, because we weren't just like licensing photos of him. We were creating new content that was relying on his image for its appeal.
So we're having Panic, who says hi, by the way.
Hey, Panic.
Panic was asking about what are the rules of
Fight Club?
first.
why we're really
the first,
here, right? Fight Club.
The first rule of Fight Club, the first rule
What?
of Beach
What?
Fight Club. But
The rules of the writing retreat, or?
the rules of when you are writing with real people. As I
Are they
mentioned-
dead people?
Well,
Isn't it like, aren't celebrities like fair game? Like, you could put the Queen of England in your story, right?
Well, probably with somebody as big as the Queen of England, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually an
Because she's
interesting
both a
question.
celebrity and a public figure. But like, I couldn't go, I just watched this inspiring women's hockey game. I'm going to write a story about the Canadian women's hockey team. It's fictional, and take all these people that are not famous most of the time, without their permission,
Yeah.
and make up a bunch of stuff about their lives. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
But if they were dead Canadians,
If they've been dead for 70 years, it would be no problem.
yeah, that's the joy of steampunk. Everyone's been dead for so long.
Yeah.
I wrote an album with Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. He's not going to come.
well, you never know if
He's gonna come
Edgar
back.
Allan Poe could come back.
No. I quoted him. He said nevermore.
Whoa! Yeah. Ah!
I already got one shoe.
Yeah, and I got the
almost
other.
got the other shoe going back.
So Mika wants to know how your man-eater LARP is going.
There was actually, did you read? We watched a program. I know, it was about Ocean Isle Beach, and there was some kid like chopped in half. Nom 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 nom.
Nom
So there are
nom.
sharks, yes.
So
Just no sharks jumping up on the beach and biting you. Hopefully.
there you go. So one of the questions that I got asked
sad
was,
story.
oh no, that is
John
a sad
Lennon's
story.
here.
That is a real sad story. Because those are some dope sunglasses.
Yeah.
He's saying that, look.
They're still intact.
Yeah, let's see, he's coming out behind me. Someone might come back for them. But then it's also litter. I'm torn.
I'm torn because they're nice sunglasses. It's
I don't know
litter.
how nice they
It's-
look like a
yeah,
pancake.
but they're
Probably
litter.
bought them on the beach for $5.
Yeah, but they're litter. All right, come on, come back, phone.
No.
The water comes
Tide
in a
came
little
up.
bit further. They're going out.
Yeah, it's on the tide, so they probably just come to
All right, I'm gonna have to reset the camera again, everybody. So the question, and this started from a question that Claire and I got early on. There we go. Was what was everybody working on?
Space
So-
nannies.
So Pip, would you like to elaborate on space nannies?
So, in the future, Jeff Bezos has set himself up as an emperor on a planet. It's not exactly Jeff Bezos, but it's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
Jed
Jed
Bezos. Jed Bezos. BOSS.
I wish you said that was a comedy. It was a comedy. Well, this
Yeah.
is a serious space nanny story.
I believe his attorneys have already taken.
Oh shit! No, we're not near an Alexis, so we're
Jared
okay.
Harris is going to play
Oh,
Jed
yeah.
Bezos.
Jared Harris. Jed Bezos.
Jared Harris as Jed Bezos.
Go big or go home. Get that here.
Scarlett Johansson as
The space nanny.
space nanny.
The Hene Gesserit. Yeah, that's what they're called. The Hene
You notice these
Gesserit.
cute little gold feet. Look,
What?
these little gold feet.
Oh yeah. Hang
Down
on.
here, they had a gold party.
Pip was talking about these things. There you go. We're fine. We're fine. Oh wait. Oh, were you still talking about your idea?
Yeah, that's the main idea. So it's a puritanical, purity-inspired society. Genetic purity above all. And
So the Hene Gesserit, right? That's what you're calling them?
no, they don't have. Well, the nannies have powers. The nannies have mastered sort of skills, like hanging off umbrellas and flying around the galaxy.
Yeah, I think Pip's pitch line was Mary Poppins meets Dune. Which could be kind of mind-bending when you think about it.
Yeah, but I'm also going to make. So she also is old, but doesn't look it because space nannies, and she's looking after some children of a highfalutin Jeff Bezos, and
So, you know, it's coming to me. A spoonful of spice helps the.
see, look, we're having a party here.
A spoonful of spice. Now put your hand in the box. The hand in the box. The hand in the box.
Don't scream, Dom. It's a Dom. The John.
Okay, hang on a minute. Just a spoonful of melange helps the gum jabbar go down.
Okay, we can work with that.
We'll work with. It's a writing retreat. It's a work in progress.
But anyway, so she finds out that one of her charges, who's probably, we'll call her emo girl, is actually not genetically pure. She's got alien DNA. Dun, dun, dun. And so she has to break away from the Guild of Space Nannies to save the little girl, little emo girl.
Little emo girl.
That's all I've got so far. The end.
That's why it's a writing retreat. Everybody, works in progress.
Yep.
I did come up with the first scene, which is obviously Space Nanny fights.
All right.
So instead of
If your intergalactic Mary Poppins are using like a form of Bartitsu, I'll be really impressed.
well, she will have a certain set of skills. Now it's Liam Neeson
Yeah.
meets Mary Poppins.
Liam Neeson dressed as Mary Poppins. Okay, let's just think about that for a second. And what about you, Tim? What is your writing idea?
Well, so I've got a novel that I was working on for the last SMOKY 2 years ago. The natural theme would be to start working on that. Well, occasionally, just listening to you guys talk, it reminded me of some ideas I've had that are like 1/4 form. Like, I think it would be cool to write a sci-fi story about a traveling rock band.
Yeah?
But I don't know what the conflict would be. I'd have to figure out what kind of trouble they get into. Or a futuristic setting involving some sort of a sports league, kind of like what Sigler did with intergalactic football league series.
Right.
Maybe not quite as bloody. But
Noob says that the space nanny concept sounds like him as a babysitter. And I could see that.
But it's also going to be, I also want it to be like a space opera. I've never done a space opera before, so.
Be a challenge. It'd definitely be a challenge. And good morning, Noob.
Firefights, it'll work.
Good morning from Ocean Isle, North Carolina. So you're basically you're working more in short stuff, short fiction.
Yep, there's a meeting. They've relocated.
A what?
The meeting of the seagulls.
Ah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm either going to continue working on that novel, or I may try and brainstorm something on these other areas. So literally all I have is this broad concept story about a sports league in the future, and nothing else. Like at some point, there's got to be a conflict in there to make the story interesting. No clue what that might be, but I think I'll probably this morning at least start working on the ghost story. And you know how this works.
I know how this works.
And some idea pops in your head, so gotta write that down before I forget it, and then off you go to the races.
Good Lord.
A new rabbit hole.
It's Seagull Con 2022.
Yeah, and you can tell they're all into cosplay.
Yep.
There's that guy.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy at the con. Notice me, senpai! Notice me!
The one guy who won't shut up at the panel discussion.
Yeah.
The others are moving away.
It was one of those teeny tiny little.
The Watchmen was not good on HBO. That's that one guy. They had to write it around a person of color. Why? That sort of thing. They wrote it around a person of color because The Watchmen on HBO was ridiculously good. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regina King. Regina King.
Oh, there he is.
There's a bunch of shows on HBO that I started and I finished. Last Week is one of them.
Yep.
Boardwalk Empire. I got through the first.
Oh, you got Boardwalk Empire. That's a good one.
I watched the rest of that. I have not seen. I saw the first episode of Chernobyl. I got to finish that.
Chernobyl is a tough watch. I'm just going to tell you right now.
The first episode, I felt a little bit draining. So.
Yeah. I got bad news for you. It doesn't get any better.
I remember how the story ends.
Chernobyl. When Pip and I wanted to feel better about ourselves, we'd watch Chernobyl. Matter of fact, that was what happened. This might get a little gross, but bear with me, chat. I was prepping for the colonoscopy, and I was feeling absolutely miserable. I couldn't sleep. I had that overhydrated feeling. I was just like, I wanted to feel better about myself, so I popped in Chernobyl, and I said, I feel better about myself now.
Like so many years as it works.
You want to? Oh, you actually want to go? You actually want to go to Chernobyl? Oof.
Well, right now, so do the Russians. They're on the border.
Yeah, that's true. We will go to invade Ukraine, except Chernobyl. We do not need to go to Chernobyl.
You can have that part.
You can have Chernobyl. I don't know, Noob. I don't know. It's one thing. No. That's one of those things where I think that people who are like, yeah, let's walk in this wasteland. That's the problem. It's a wasteland.
We're friends. Look after each other. And we're not boning.
But I'll tell you this, chat. I didn't realize how hard work walking on the beach was. I think I've forgotten. I'm actually breaking a sweat.
Oh,
I noticed that. It's on my bucket list, especially the wildlife and paranormal activity that exists. Well,
oh, sorry.
What did I say?
No, you didn't say anything.
You said that you like walking through the Philippines, but there's something about the beach, and I said, well,
Yeah.
it's flat.
Well, you guys were right way ahead of us, and I said, "Are we dead? Is this the afterlife? We're just walking on
We're sort of
endless
vanishing
beach?"
into the mist.
Because we couldn't see the end.
I'm not sure.
And I said, "That's not the worst way to spend the afterlife."
Well, Claire was one of the new recruits for our morning walks when Tim and I started doing this years ago. But I remember watching Claire hustle up that remember that there was like a driveway or something,
Up those really steep
and it was like at least a 30-degree angle,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, and I run. What? Why are steep hills?
Yeah.
And then
I
yeah.
saluted her with my beer.
Yeah, I remember that. Morning runs are the best. Morning runs are the best.
Did you already go for a run, Liv?
No, I didn't. I'm actually not a morning runner.
Ah.
I'm more of a I have kind of a midday slump, especially when I'm writing all night, where if I just sit there and stare at my laptop, words don't happen anyway.
Gotta get
So
the
I like to break it
dopamine.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Alex does that. Sometimes when they're writing, if they will go, I'm just going to have a quick break, and they put on Beat Saber,
Yeah.
do a few minutes to kind of get the blood flowing.
I always say I think with my feet, there's a problem that I can't solve. It does no good to just think with my brain and bash my head against the wall. But if I just go and do something different, get my heart rate up, let my mind not do anything for a little while, the answer will just come to me when I come back.
Honestly, that's one reason why I brought the guitar.
Nice.
You know, when I need a thought break from the writing, I can pick up the guitar and try and teach myself a new song or something like that. Turns out a different part of your brain is
Oh no, you want to do this, honey. You want to do this. Wait a second.
Your stride's not
No, you're
right,
doing
right?
this. You got to do this, honey. You got to go.
Because the sandworm. I thought that was a clever word.
Remember, everybody, when you walk on the beach.
Walking under the hill.
Ah, come on. Remember, when you walk on the beaches of Arrakis, you got to walk on the beaches of Arrakis like this. Yeah, walk like a seagull. I know beaches of Arrakis doesn't quite make sense. Did Alex join you this year at Smoky? No, unfortunately, no. That was the reason why I was cooking last night. There was some sort of,
No, I'm cooking Saturday. No, I'm cooking tonight.
no, you're cooking Friday night. You're doing the roasted chicken on Friday. Check with Fu. Fu was she's the food
I was going to say.
Food marshal.
food marshal.
And quite honestly, I can't think of a better person to be food marshal.
Yeah.
I said, can I have the flour? She goes, no, you can have two. I want all the flour. No.
So Alex unfortunately did not join us at Smoky this year.
That stuff. And Fu's giving me grief about making bread. I'm like, cookies are more intense than bread. Bread you just put together.
Oh, this bread that Pip makes, oof. She basically takes like fresh herbs from her hydroponic garden,
Yeah.
mixes it with cheese,
People want to,
and it makes this pull-apart bread that, yeah, it's a favorite in the house.
That's how much I love smokies. I brought my KitchenAid.
You brought Ruby.
Yeah. Soy sauce.
What was that?
I forgot to ask for soy sauce on the grocery list. You need to put that on
Squid sauce?
soy sauce.
Oh, soy sauce. Okay. Well, like squid sauce. Hang on a minute.
I feel like there's got to be something in the house that I can substitute for that. It seems very silly to make a separate thing. Like
Soy
one
sauce.
tablespoon of soy sauce.
That was the ingredient. That was another ingredient in the marinade I used last night. Someone was asking me to do a breakdown of the marinade.
Me, that was me.
What was that?
It was me. That was
That was you. That's right. You know, if being a bookseller, you might want to look at the, or working for a bookseller, you might want to look at the at Trejo's Tacos. The photography, not just of the food, is absolutely amazing.
I'm pretty sure we sell it.
It's
Popular in Canada too.
yeah.
So are tacos.
So are tacos. But I did find out, that was the other thing I found out too, is that the hard shell taco is not a Mexican thing.
Yeah.
That's another Tex-Mex thing. Whoop. Yeah. You're not going to get me twice, Surf. You're not going to get me twice. You're not going to get me twice. So here you are, chat. You can always, just going ahead and put on this video and then just loop a section where it's just us in the surf.
Occasionally scrambling.
Yeah, occasionally scrambling to stay dry. I can always tell though if I haven't ran, or if I haven't done something on, if I haven't ran or done something on Supernatural, I'm irritable for the day.
Right?
I have to get away from it. Watch the water waiting to backstep T when you least expect it. Yeah, I know.
So I know you did some half marathons during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Did you do like virtual ones with swag?
We did virtual runs with we were doing let's see, the first one we did, we being me and my running partner, which is a lady in the neighborhood. The two of us, we did, the first one was, oh come on, it was the Baltimore half marathon.
Fun.
Then we did the St. Jude's half marathon, and it was the one for Memphis, Tennessee. Then the worst one we did was the Frederick, Maryland half. They had really good swag, and we did a challenge where in one weekend we did a 5K and a half marathon.
Nice.
And we did it, but I had to walk sections of that half marathon because originally, when we originally trained for it, it was supposed to be in like the first weekend of May. And we were all stoked for it, and we were ready for it. We were right on track. Training was going great. And then they said, we're rescheduling it in July. And I'm not a warm person. I like this kind of weather. I love to run it. And when it's cold, well, within reason, above 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be above, what, 4 degrees Celsius? Sounds about
It would be like minus 2 or something?
-2, yeah. Above -2, I'm okay with running it. But July, and it was like, 80 some odd degrees. It was miserable. And I struggled through that. But then the last one I did, it's got 1 foot.
That is well adapted.
That, are you seeing that, Chad? That bird has 1 foot.
It has better balance than I have on YouTube.
Wow. Nature adapts. Oh, you're adopting some new rats. Very nice. That's very cool. That is very cool. We're the Blue House, right?
Yeah. It's sort of like a light aqua.
Yeah. Oh, there are 3 of them up there. Hey. So anyway, so the third one we did was the Richmond Marathon. The Richmond Half Marathon. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was still virtual. We tried a different place, but the thing was we were supposed to go there and actually do it. And something went wrong at the last minute, and my running partner said, I got to do it virtually. So I said, well, then I guess we're doing it virtually. Because I didn't want to go by myself. But we got it done. And the Richmond Marathon was I really want to do it in person next year because it goes right through like downtown Richmond and historic parts of Richmond. I love it.
Toronto still doesn't have in-person races, but they opened up a section of a very busy street and stopped allowing cars on it every weekend for July through October 2020, which was amazing. It was like a good long, maybe 12K stretch.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was used so heavily by runners, cyclists, pedestrians, people in wheelchairs, like every type of human power was always in evidence on this strip. And So all my running that year, I did 3 half marathons on that strip.
Oh, wow.
And it connects to running paths that go out even further too. So I had a lot of options of like using that open piece and then finding some other trails that are really pretty that go along the lakeshore.
So it wasn't quite a virtual half marathons you were doing. It was almost like a hybrid.
Well,
Like,
I was really running it, and I was really outdoors, and I was running it at the same time as other people who were running the same virtual race.
Oh, okay.
But we were all starting it at different times. There was no mass start. There was
Right.
no race support. It was totally self-supported, and I did it 3 weekends in a row.
Nice.
And tried to average out my best time. And one of those times was really atrocious because it was hot. I ran out of water. I was carrying a
jeez.
pack. I don't know. My pace was just off. It wasn't great. And my best time, not coincidentally, was when I made my husband domestique for me because he had a long bike ride to do.
Right.
And I was like, look, I know I'm going to need some help if I want to beat my record. Please show up when I'm in my last 5K and just ride in front of me and give me my pace. Because it's really hard to know what pace you're going when you're running by yourself.
Well, yeah.
There's no pace indicators. And even though like my app will tell me what my average pace is, it's not telling me fast enough. It'll tell me like every kilometer. And then it's already too late if I've missed my pace for a couple of kilometers. Then I can't really get that back.
So what has been your record time so far?
It was 2 hours and 28 minutes, which is not super fast.
No, but that's still respectable. I think my best time so far has been 2:36.
Nice.
And
We're in that similar space of like solid recreational runners.
yeah, exactly. Well, my thought about it is, the first time I ever did a half marathon, I had to walk a section of it, and I said, okay, for this new goal of, because I hadn't run a half marathon in, like 5 or 6 years, and when we started in 2020, she said, my running partner said, we have one goal, finish it. I said, okay, and I said, well, I want to finish it without stopping. I don't want to walk it. I want to run the whole thing, and that was exactly what we did. And the big problem with the Frederick, Maryland one was because I had to walk that. That just that kind of messed with my head a little bit. But then I was like, well, yeah, but we had also been training for what felt like forever, because we literally had to reset. We were on this very strict training schedule, and we were at week 9, and then they said, oh, we're rescheduling. So then we had to go back to week 2, and it was July. I'm sorry, I can't run in the summer. I can run short distances, but don't ask me to run a half marathon. That was just gross.
Yeah. Biting my tongue on all the runner complaints of all the gross things that happen when you have to run in the heat.
Like what? What do you mean?
Oh, I always get chafes from my running bra.
Oh, right.
When it's too sweaty, and I just end up with like little cuts, like on my shoulders from the strap. Back and forth.
I also have. I've had my own fair share of chafing in the parts that shall not be named. And that's always rather unpleasant. But I figure, I think just to be super blunt, there are people younger than me and Pip good morning, that we see at some of the conventions that we hit, and they're on walkers.
Yeah.
And I just said to Pip, I said, I want to be able to move. I want to be able I want to be mobile. And I know I won't be able to do half marathons like this all the time. But the inspiration I pull from, there's this guy, every year he does the Dogfish Dash at Dogfish Head Brewery. And the guy's got to be, if he's not in his 70s, he's in his 60s. They give him the same running number, 00001.
Nice.
He's got a beard that stretches all the way down to like his mid-sternum. And he goes at his own pace. But he finishes the damn race.
There's a guy in his 90s that does marathons in Toronto.
Jeez.
By far the slowest guy on the course. No one cares. Everybody like
Yeah.
is very willing
'Cause he's
to
doing
wait
it.
as long as it takes for that. It's amazing.
Because he's doing it.
My grandmother was a big tennis player, and when she was 92, that was the last time I played tennis with her.
Yeah.
She totally beat me. I've never been able to beat her. In fact, I only won once that day out of multiple sets, and only when I could reliably hit the ball over her shoulder that she had surgery on, which I wasn't really good enough to reliably hit it there all the time. So, yep.
I hope you are enjoying the IRL stream. That's exactly what this is. I just wanted to bring the beach to you because this is a nice way to start off a morning. And thank you, Tact. Thank you. This is way... This is the first time I've been on a beach in 2 years. Actually, no, Tact. It is 55. Now, granted, I'm going to have to change shirts and everything because I've broken a sweat.
I feel
But
like it might be warmer than 55 by now. Like,
Yeah, it might actually be in the 60s, but it feels fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I am here with Pip, but again, Pip and I have apparently left behind, or rather, Claire and I have left behind Pip and Tim. Fahrenheit. 55 Fahrenheit. And it's just been so delightful out here. Good morning. Come on. Here for a writing retreat, so you hit the beach at 7 a.m., you watch the sunrise, you get in a morning walk. Where I live, 71 Fahrenheit is considered cold. Okay, Tact. Don't need to rub it in. Don't need to rub it in.
where I live, it's considered a balmy day.
Yeah. But no, this is how I'm going to be waking up for the next week. And I'm looking forward to that. And if anybody asks, why, yes, I might have brought a few odds and ends. Just, Pip was like, why are you bringing some of your paranormal gear? And I said, you never know. You never know. I know that when we're doing, when we do what is called the leftovers, after the retreat, some of us go to the close by city of, Wilmington, thank you. Wilmington, North Carolina. And the USS North Carolina is actually moored there. And I do want to find out if they entertain private investigations. Because if they do, I'm saying, Phil, we got something to do. Got something to do for the tubes of you. Which, as we're closing in on our house, I do feel obligated to mention. If you go to oldspiritsinvestigations.com, that's with 2 S's, oldspiritsinvestigations.com, it will take you to our YouTube channel, and our first episode is up. And we're pretty happy with the way it turned out. Pretty freaking happy. Oh, Tact says, we want it cold because it's always 93 degrees. Tact, where are you in the world? If you don't mind my asking, where are you in the world? Singapore. Wow, okay. Yeah, but you guys also get the F1 races in there, so cry me a river. The F1 race, the Formula 1 races in Singapore are ridiculously cool because it's like
my
something.
favorite course.
It's straight out of a sci-fi novel. Straight out of a sci-fi novel. What's that?
Is that Maggie on the porch?
I think that is Maggie I think that is Maggie. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting there's a have I seen them in real life? No. That's on my bucket list. I would love to see an F1. I'm team. Yeah, that's Maggie. I'm team Aston Martin. I love me some Sebastian Vettel. I have opinions about that last race. I have opinions, and I'm going to leave them for another stream. But wow, what a...
I'm clearly also Team Aston Martin.
Yeah, really?
Well, Lance Stroll is Canadian.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm patriotic.
Those two make an interesting pair. Those two make an interesting pair. But I do love me some Seb. Although now you see, you talk about being loyal. Pip's team, McLaren.
Of course.
And Lando Norris, he's got such potential.
Right.
He's got such potential. Such potential. But that's where we're staying for a couple of days. Then we're going to move to Wilmington, North Carolina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan it back around and let you guys enjoy the beach. And if you're curious, everybody, yeah. If you're curious, we'll be here tomorrow. So I'm just going to end on that. I'm just going to end on this. Not on my face. I'm going to end on this. This is way nicer to look at. See you all tomorrow.